Greetings, citizens! Justiguy has arrived. This is That Which Binds Us. It's been a bit since I've last played. I've been focusing on, my own actual visual novel stuff. You've probably heard about that in the video. But regardless, let's just jump right into it. As you may remember, we ventured into, I guess, a new game plus of sorts, where we get to see Evalise reject our good man Idris. I'm still kind of freaked out about what he did, creeping on her and all that, but, whatever, we're here. And, yeah, so without any further delays, let's just get into it, because I sigh, but follow him. He leads me down a few rows, past a faux bronze statue of a replica discus from Greece. It's a bit obvious where we're heading. The history section? I don't read much, to be honest, but when I was younger, my dad was infatuated with myths, like I said at the bar. My teachers had a hell of a time getting me to read assignments, but when I had to clean up his belongings after he passed, I took a glance at his books. I didn't think much of them, but I knew they meant a lot to him, so I read a few. Every now and then, I'll still find a new one to read. When he was talking about all that, I figured he was completely full of himself or something. But now, I can see at the very least he's not faking it. I'm sorry to hear about him. It's alright. It was in high school, so 10 years or so ago. Jeez, I didn't realize it's been that long. This thing has been in my family for probably centuries, but there's no trace of it. Even my grandfather only knew that he had gotten it from his father, and so on. I've always wanted to know where it came from and what it fully is, but I'll probably never know. I've got all these questions, yet I'm cooped up in an office all day. Idris shifts his focus to the aisle in front of us, which most prominently features mythos and ancient civilizations. I once met a hopeful, soon-to-be historian here. They were a lot more eager and sociable back then, and we talked for what felt like hours. Yeah. What happened? He turns back at me with a semi-sheepish, semi-disheartened look. Well, it doesn't really matter now, does it? It matters a little bit, surely. Why? Why'd you bring it up then? Ha! Fair point. So you said you're interested in history? That's not even attempting to segue into another topic. That's just avoiding it completely. Amazing. Yes, a bit. A bit? Well, I tried going to college right out of high school, but it just didn't work out. I hate bringing this up. I had to drop out and start working. So now I'm stuck in a retail store, but it pays better than my last job. Whenever I mention that I'm a dropout, there's always a mix of reactions. Some pity me, some worry about me, and even some are slightly disgusted. His expression doesn't change a bit, because he already knows. That's alright. I never had the chance to go to college. My dad's death accrued a lot of debt for us, mainly from the funeral and his lack of income, so I had to get another job besides the one I had in high school. But enough depressing talk. What's done is done. It's bad for your health if you only concentrate on the past, things you can't change. I do kind of want to go back to college, though. To study history? Sorta. Alright, how about this then? We're in a huge bookstore. Yeah. So, find me some books. Can't decide what books you want to read next? No, it's a game. I'll try to guess your intended major based off of them. Uh-huh. Of course, there's gonna be some limits. Oh, did you realize it was too easy? You can only pick up to 3 books, and you have 10 minutes. Sounds easy enough. Why don't I just tell you what I want to do, though? Well, what else are 2 not fully sober adults supposed to do for fun on a Saturday night? Fine, I'll play your game. Great, then start! He looks at the time on his phone to start a somewhat loose 10-minute countdown. Gosh, it's almost midnight already? How late is this place open? Still, there's no time to waste. I walk around, trying to find the best books to represent what I want to do. But what is that exactly? I was just blurting it out when I mentioned I wanted to go back to college. It's always been a dream, but I've never given myself the luxury of thinking that dreams could be anything more than just dreams. It's definitely something to do with history. That narrows it down to, like, a few thousand or so fields. Why am I supposed to pick a major in 10 minutes? Wait, why am I freaking out over this? It's not like it had happened anyway. Despite all the money I have in savings, it's not like he'll know the difference anyway. What to do? What to do? I somehow managed to get 3 books and walk back to Idris, who's now playing with on his phone. Back already? You've still got, like, a minute. Here. I hand him the books I picked out. Expeditions Across the Northern Peninsula to Foreign Lands. Copyright 1924. A compilation of ancient travelers' journeys to find other colonies. How to perfect the speech without having to speak before. A book on giving formal presentations at a professor level. The Making of the First Machina. How they did it. A detailed guide exploring the inner workings of the world's first megacities in the ancient world and how they were built. Tough choices, I've gotta say. Well, it sounds like you like history and public speaking. I didn't know anyone actually liked public speaking. I'm gonna guess you want to give speeches on history. Specifically? What, was I not detailed enough? Alright, you want more? I'd say you have an interest in specifically ancient cities and how they worked. I guess that's close enough. What do you want about? I got that completely correct! Sure, we'll go with that. He just sighs and hands the books to me. Alright then. Want to walk back with me to put these up? Depends. Do you want them? Huh? Like, do you want to keep them? I can buy them if you'd like. I can't just let you buy me drinks and books. These books cost more than both of our drinks tonight. Why are hardbacks so expensive nowadays? Instead of ignoring it, he just shrugs and smiles a bit. It doesn't really matter. I don't exactly spend my entire check on myself. He takes the books back from me and starts heading towards the cash register. Hey! What? If you don't want them, then I guess I'll just get them for myself. He turns around and keeps walking. And with that, the conversation is apparently over. There's nothing left to do but give up and walk with him. The counter area is an odd sort of aquatic-looking section, complete with fishing nets, a mock boat, and stuffed animals. There's a woman and a young man hanging around the counter, waiting for their shift to be over. Idris stops in his tracks so abruptly I accidentally run into him. Hey! He just turns around and starts walking the other way. What, see someone you know? Kids. They make horrible workers. You're a young-looking old man. He makes sure to immediately duck into the rows of bookshelves and doesn't look back at the cashiers. Want some coffee? They make a good roast downstairs. Beer and then coffee? I'd like to be able to sleep tonight. I guess you can check out down there too. Probably won't help you sleep, but it is pretty cold outside. Sounds like an expensive hand warmer. Sounds like a delicious hand warmer. As we head down the stairs towards the sounds of a loud coffee grinder, it's like we've stepped into an entirely different building. The walls are all old-timey brick, and the floor is wooden slabs sloppily nailed together for a rustic aesthetic. The decor and tables are all metallic bronze, giving the place a steampunk look. It feels as if we're in an underground train station circa 1900. And here we are. Coffee, scones, pastries, hot chocolate, whatever you'd like. This is really the reason why they're open so late. There's no other place to read books with a cup of coffee that's open this late at night. And with a community college nearby, they make a killing. They also make a mean bagel. A mean bagel? What does that even mean? You know, like a really good one. I'll take your word for it. Well, do you want anything? I don't like how he puts it, as if it's just natural that he drops even more money on me. How about I pay this time? Why? Why not? Well, I hate to break it to you, but I make more than you. And I'm the one who brought you here, so I might as well pay. Why do you think you make more than me? There's a bit of a silence as he just stares at me with an unimpressed look on his face. How much do you make? Minimum wage? Of course not! Then what? A few dollars over minimum wage. Great. Case closed then. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. Are you going to get anything? No. If I buy 2 cups of coffee on accident, will you help me drink one of them? Maybe. He turns and walks to the counter with books in hand while I walk over to a table. I didn't think this place would really be popular, but it seems to be doing good business. There are some college kids sitting over in the corner, all with laptops and textbooks covering their tables. I've never missed that part about school, but still. The end result is worth it all. Probably. Hopefully? Aside from them, there's a couple of random stragglers, a young couple, a businessman, a hipster guy, and an off-duty barista. I find an empty table for two beside the businessman and sit down. The man has a laptop and a few sheets of paper spread out in front of him, with a tall black coffee in his hand. As I sit down, Idris comes back with 2 coffee cups. Here you go. Whoops! Looks like I got an extra cup! Ha ha! What are the odds? Just hand it over. He places it in front of me and sits down. Well, how's the night been so far? I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Was it at least better than sitting at home all night? I had a pretty nice blend of hot chocolate and a really soft blanket I recently bought waiting on me. I think I'm better company than just a blanket. Did I mention how soft it is? He just sighs and takes a drink of his coffee. All right then. What would make a better night? Huh? Let's say you could go anywhere in town and do whatever you want for a night. What would you do? He asks the weirdest questions. Well, maybe not the weirdest, but there's something about the way he looks when he asks things like this. Like he already knows what I'm thinking or what my answer will be. An entire night just for me, huh? You're really putting me on the spot. Good, maybe it'll help you make you that. Good, maybe it'll help make you think about what you really want. It's a bit like one of those, where do you want to travel to around the world questions, isn't it? You just come up with the most extravagant place in mind without really worrying. Now you're just stalling. Maybe. Fine, off the top of my head, then... I'd really like to go to the annual charity ball at the Ford Theater. That's it? What, you want a whole itinerary? Sure, why not? Okay. I get ready around 6. At 7, a taxi pulls up outside my apartment and I step in. I'm wearing a white dress with pink lace, something simple but with a bit of flair. The taxi drops me off at the front door. Wait. The place is going to be packed. There's no way someone like you would be able to get dropped off at the front door without waiting like an hour. This is my fantasy, okay? Now, like I was saying, the gala starts at 8, so I'd walk around for a bit before it starts. I hear the lobby has an amazing display of arts and theatrical artifacts they've collected, so I'd want to see all of those. Once that's over, I'd go sit down at my table and enjoy the festivities. Like... Haven't you ever been to a charity ball? No. Have you? No, but this is my fantasy. How many times do I have to say that? Oh boy. They probably have dances and auctions and toasts and things. And out of all the places in the city, why is that where you'd want to go? Sounds interesting enough. It might not sound like the most riveting thing ever, but it's certainly unique, one of those things you'd want to just try once. You can go to a fancy restaurant or a play almost any night. Some things you can only do once in a lifetime, though. His eyebrows are a bit upturned, but he's still smirking at me, as if I gave the correct answer he was expecting. Not typical. I like it. I figured you would say something like a traveling circus or a Broadway play and dinner somewhere. And what about you? What about me? I'd like to go to the Walter Tower. Isn't that just a tourist spot? It is, but it's also supposed to have the best view in the city, since it's the tallest skyscraper for miles. There's plenty of other buildings with great views. Out of anywhere else in the city, that's really where you'd want to spend a few hours? It's hard to describe, but up there where you can see everything so far away that you can't make out individual people, it feels less lonely. There's just so many little moving parts that you can see. All the lights on in the buildings, all the cars driving by. There's all people inside them going about their lives. What are they doing? How do they live? It's hard to feel alone when there's so many people surrounding you. Maybe it'd be better to explain it one day when you can actually see it for yourself. Explain it to me in person? That means we'd both have to be there at the same time. That'd be a rather big coincidence, don't you think? Maybe. It'd also be a lot easier if we arranged something in that case. Arranging something already? You're not even done with your coffee yet. He takes another sip and looks back at me. What, now, then? You asked that before, and now I'll ask it to you. You shouldn't let unneeded people tie you back, but now you don't have to worry about that. So then, what now? What are you going to do with all this newfound free time? The question is more normal than the last few, and yet it feels like the hardest to answer. I can think of a lot of things I could do now. I could try going back to college. I could try to find myself a different, better job. I could even just spend it at home by myself. But that's not exactly the answer he's looking for. And it's not exactly the answer I'm ready to pick yet. To be honest, I have no idea. You're not going to force me to pick tonight, are you? No. Take as long as you want. It's not exactly something you should pick overnight, I guess. You can always try to get a degree, maybe pick up some extra hours at work, or just chill at home. But I can't expect you to know already. What about you? What about me? I haven't exactly had anything life-changing happen to me in the past few days. So all this is just another day in your life, huh? Basically. It's not every day I get side clients, but I'd say this is a typical week. I've had a lot of clients over the years, most for bail bonds, some for, sometimes I can see a few different clients in the same day. It's a big city, but a small world. I shake my head at all of this. This is all completely normal to you. Yeah, basically. I'm pretty great, aren't I? Kinda lost its mystique after the first few months of owning and using the knife. I guess it's a bit sad, but it's just the reality I live in. A different reality from others. One where magic knives exist. It seems like such a far-off state of mind to be surrounded by something like this every day, but to him, this is his new normal. There's nothing abnormal about it anymore, as it's his norm now. Could this be my new reality? I don't know, citizens. We'll have to just wait and see, because I'm afraid that for now, this is going to have to be farewell.